Welcome to Woo 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 Wednesday. Lord have mercy.
Woo Woo Friday. It's Friday, y'all. It's actually Friday.
Thank all that it is not Wednesday. It is Friday.
Yeah. We're trying a little bit different arrangement today with our sitting.
Yeah. So welcome to my kitchen. I hope you like it. But yeah, I try to get a little better light.
So natural lighting.
Yeah. Hey Michelle.
Hi Michelle.
Girl. All right, well guys, we are going to just hop right into it because we're going to have to wrap up a little bit early today. So, and we've got 3 questions that we want to get to. We will probably have time for a few extra. So leave them in the comments. If we can't get to them in the live, we'll take care of it some other way. But the first question that we had was from Lisa, and she was just interested in what the rest of the year holds and what she needs to know
this last month of the year.
Yeah, to get the most out of whatever she's supposed to be doing for the rest of the year.
All right. Well, I just heard in my head letting go. So more of just letting go and releasing, I feel like, is going to be important, because I know, like, for me and in talking with other people, it feels like there's a lot of cycles being finished up over the course of this month, and so that we can start fresh and new. And that sounds very cliche, going into the new year. It's January, new year, new you, but it does feel like some big shifts and changes. And I think I was looking at something online, and they were talking about how it's going to be a 7-year next year. So a 7-year is about spiritual growth, and we were closing up a 6 year, which was about introspection and self realizations and that kind of inward work. So next year is going to be more about growing spiritually and coming out, and and 7 is my favorite number, just in case y'all didn't know.
7 is in biblical terms is the number of perfection.
It's always been my favorite number ever since I was a kid. I don't know why, but it has been.
Well, you said let go. I pulled release control. So.
Yeah, and then I pulled the chemist, craving something new, adjustments are happening. So I feel like you're kind of at that point where you're just like, I'm done with this cycle of my life. So, you can invite your chemist in to help make adjustments so that you can welcome in whatever it is that you need to welcome in for the new year. And then the sacral chakra, you are worthy. So reassess your own personal value and make sure that you're speaking your truth with that throat chakra as you go through what may be the beginning of the year. I feel like is going to be a little bit challenging for you.
Yeah. But for the rest of the year, the first card that I pulled was milk and honey, which, speaks to abundance and having an overflow. And what came to me was, as you were talking about, just letting go, and we got release control as well. It's kind of like just be in a place of receiving. Allow, if somebody offers to do something for you, rather than saying, no, I'm fine, it's okay. I'll receive it. Allow that to come in. And I also pulled co-create, but in reverse. So again, it's like, it's time to be, not do.
Right.
So, just kind of allow yourself to be in that mindset of receiving rather than the doing. And I also pulled forgiveness. So, talking about cycles closing, I know there's a lot to be forgiven. If we were talking about total forgiveness, but if there's anything of that burden that you can let go, let it go before the new year.
Yeah.
even if it's just like shaving off a little, a little bit, but anything that you can forgive and not carry with you, I would, it's going to be a good time to do that.
Yeah, and that includes self-forgiveness for anything that maybe you felt like you should have done differently, or you shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know what I'm saying? So even self-forgiveness. And then I pulled purification card, which also speaks to me of letting go and releasing. So I think it's just a time to, reassess your own value and appreciate yourself and some self-love, speaking your truth, and just letting go of these things that are not serving you. Yeah. So RuthAnne joined us. Hey, RuthAnne. And EBN, hi. We have an exciting announcement about EBN later.
Okay, so the second question was from Rachel. And if you remember, a few weeks back, she had a question about a new co-working space, like moving to a new space. Well, now that she's in the space, she says it's in a very old building, like almost historical register type of location. And she said there's an energy in the building. She says it's not bad. And they've had some weird things happen.
Oh, how fun.
And she says it's more funny than it is creepy, but she would still kind of like to know what we get, what we feel about, like, what is that energy.
It feels like a male energy to me. Young, and by young I'm feeling like 20-ish, like early 20s. I'd be curious to know what the building was before, because it feels like the person may have either lived there or worked there. They spent a lot of time within that space and within that area as well, and has a very, I feel a very mischievous kind of prankster energy.
Well, and I felt like there's something about what you're doing there, either what you're doing or the people who are in the space, but there's something about the situation of you guys moving in to that space that he's happy about. So it's like the kid in school that picks on you because he likes you, kind of feeling.
Oh, look at what you
yeah
did.
You know what I'm saying? Like like when you were in second grade, the little boy pulled your hair, but it was because he kind of like did things that were quote unquote mean, but it was because they really liked you and didn't know how to show it. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting, that it's kind of like he's really happy that you're there. He likes what you're doing and just kind of wants you to know that he's around and he, I don't want to say approves, but is enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's
got a very playful energy, and since you pulled the fairies card,
pulled the fairies card, remember to play.
I feel like you should just have fun with it and kind of enjoy it, because I think he's not really going anywhere, so to speak. And like, talk to him, and I would interact with him, because I feel like he's got a really fun-loving, kind of youthful energy that would just be fun.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but something made me feel like I needed to pull a manifesting card, and as I was thinking about it, it's like maybe like manifesting the relationship there the way you want it. And what I pulled was honor your feelings. So what popped into my head was like still kind of be clear with your boundaries. If they do something that you don't particularly enjoy, or that maybe is like a little too far, I think they would be, if you said that was a little bit too much, can you dial it back? Then they would be willing to do that, because they're just enjoying interacting with you. So
yeah.
Anything else?
I also, in the Angel Answers card, I pulled the listen to your intuition. So, pay attention to what messages that you're feeling, or your feelings around the situation. But it feels light and playful and fun, and yeah. And if I get it's excited you're there and what you're doing. If you have time to like tell us like what the building was used for before, because I'm feeling stuff around like manual labor, and maybe he was working there. It feels like very almost like not a well possibly a factory, but something very hands-on work, hard work. So anyway, later, girl.
All right. And RuthAnne just joined. She says, I did send a question last evening, and we got it. We have it. And you're just in time because we're getting ready to do it now. She mentioned that she's feeling a change and a shift in the wind. What does she need to know about the change of direction?
Yeah, I feel that, girl. I think a lot of us are feeling that shift, like things are getting ready to change, and you're kind of on that cusp, and you don't have the full picture of what is next.
Well, and we've talked about this for a while now, that 2023 feels like 2020 and 2021 pretty much felt the same. 2022 kind of felt like you were coming out of that a little, but 23 feels like it's going to be
expansive.
Yeah, a much different energy to it. So I think maybe that's what a lot of us are kind of feeling when we're talking about cycles ending.
So RuthAnne, do you know what you want to have happen, or what direction that you think that you want to go in? Because I pulled the spider card, which is, creating your own, weaving your own web and creating your own path, your own life. But in this deck, I'm going to have to read it because it talks about balancing your manifesting. So are you trying to manifest anything? And also the earth card, which is building that firm foundation. So are you, to me, that's like heaven and earth, so to speak, as above, so below. So creating that balance of what you're trying to manifest in the, with your spiritual connection, and having that based on that earth card of building the firm, things to do, doing the physical things that need to be done. So I feel like it's kind of pulling those two aspects together. And then this was on the bottom of the deck, the seer card, which is you are seeing things clearly. So if you have an idea of what direction that you want to go in, then it's saying that you're seeing it. You're getting the clear message.
Yeah, and it's funny that you were talking about balance, because as I was looking at your cards and my cards, I saw a definite balance, because when you're talking about the spider and co-creating, you're still bringing something into reality. And you're talking about, earth and being grounded. Both of those are very like earthbound based. It's very reality based. And then the two cards that I pulled were the third house, messages, and the moon, soul. So very much
kind
like
of the same.
Intuitive, getting in touch with your highest self. So I see a lot of balance there as well, in between the cards that you pulled and the cards that I pulled. I also pulled the card Courage. I was asking the Soul's Journey deck like what the energy was around this shift that you're feeling, and it says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. I don't feel like fear is necessarily the right word, but more or less challenges. Like just because there is, change afoot, for lack of a better way to say it. I think you feel confident in that you're prepared to face that change. I think that's where the courage comes in.
So, out of my archetypes deck, the Wild Unknown, I pulled Eros, and this card is very interesting. So I don't know what we're thinking about doing, but it talks about love as desire, sensuality. What do we long for? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitate in the face of intimacy? Eros reconnects us with our primal longing to merge with another human being, nature, music, art, plants, food, or anything that we perceive as we are separate from. Eros allows us to momentarily unite. Our heart embraces otherness, and in doing so, we further understand our own life. Our life force awakens. This card reveals an inevitable initiation into love's labyrinth. You may find yourself swirling in a new territory of desire and sensuality. Explore the labyrinth with a curious and honest heart, and remember that the way is circuitous. You are always being led toward its center. So that could come in many different forms. You know, it could be actual love with another person, or it could be a love of something. And allowing ourselves to face intimacy, I think that's really important, no matter if it's a person or if it is or if it's a thing that we want to bring in.
If it's a job, if it's doing what you love, if it's whatever.
Yeah.
And the co-create card came out again, so I feel like that may be part of, you know, you got a manifesting card, the co-create card. So that may be part of the change that you're feeling is you know, getting ready to bring something new into your reality.
And I pulled this, a situation will improve. And if you see her, she's like going towards the light. So like coming up out of the water. So I like that for like this kind of feeling of like the change is coming. You're heading in the right direction. Staying balanced between the crown chakra and the earthly things.
Yeah, the reality of things and the soul version of the same things.
I think that's important to do.
Yeah, but it feels very good.
Yeah, it does.
Feels, the word that pops into my mind is potential. It feels like a lot of potential. Yeah. So, we had any?
We have Terri joining us and Tovi.
Hi.
First, Terri says, if you have any woo for me today, I would love to hear it.
Terri needs some woo.
Terri needs some woo.
Well, these are my most woo-woo cards, Terri, so I'm going to pull one of these from the Wild Unknown. Terri, I feel like you're at the beginning of something. Like, I don't know if it's the beginning of a phase, if it's the beginning of a new project. It feels like in the tarot deck, it would be the Fool card. There's almost this feeling of excitement and anticipation that I feel for whatever this thing is for you.
So Terri says, to be more specific, I've asked about my son before and his struggles. We are seeing a therapist for the first time today.
Oh, nice.
And I'm just hoping with every ounce of my being that it helps him and me. Is this going to help our healing?
Okay.
Well, and you know, if you're talking about moving headlong into something, you know, maybe since this is the first.
Yeah. That's probably where I was feeling the excitement, the anticipation, hoping this is going to be.
So the two cards that I pulled like really speak to that. It was the Deer card, slow down and give yourself grace, and the Angels card.
Oh.
You are supported, divine intervention is at play. So
and I pulled the Grace card too.
So even though there's there's the excitement and there's the anticipation, it's kind of like slow down and let it take its course. Like and give yourself grace. Like if you don't get everything out of the first meeting that you wanted to get out of it, doesn't mean that it's not going to get there.
Exactly. That's
right.
what I feel that too.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a good step in the right direction.
And as you say that, I asked the manifestation deck, like, what can you do to help bring about the resolve and the results that you want? And I got step into your power. Yeah. So, just be authentic, be authentically you, but, also give the situation some grace.
Yeah. And I pulled this card, the Passage, so I feel like this is just like, this is a portal into this healing journey that you want to go on with your son. And I pulled this card, which is really interesting, the thread. And you see the person that has their hand on the thread, and it is reaching up to the sky and to the rainbow and to the good things. So if I just look at that purely from, drawing meaning out of the card, I would see this as like coming out of the dark period, pulling yourself up out of that darkness, because you are connected to better things, to a good relationship, to the things that you want to have with your son. So I feel like this is very positive for that. You're still kind of in this space, but this is what's waiting you. Remember to have grace as you go about that. It talks about the circuit of meaning within chaos. So
yeah, which kind of sounds a little bit like, again, if everything doesn't come out of the, don't get discouraged, maybe because the first session doesn't go as far as you would want it to go.
Yeah.
And I ask, I asked the wisdom deck, like, what is your next right step? And I got time to go, but in reverse. So again, like, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of feeling.
Yeah. Be in the process, because it feels...
And be in your power in the process. Like,
yeah, I feel very hopeful about it. So.
And I love these two cards because it's like the very grounded, the red at the bottom, a lot of similar imagery there. Really pretty.
Awesome.
And RuthAnne says, this confirms the opportunity to write a piece for a woman's book about how an experience fits the theme of women's rights. Awesome.
Cool.
Gemini.
I know.
And we had, did Tovi have a question?
Tovi, yes.
Hi, Tovi.
Let's see. Tovi says, good morning, ladies. I've missed you. I have a house guest. I'm wondering if anyone has any messages for me.
As in a spirit house guest?
That's what I'm thinking. Tovi, if you could expand on that, let us know.
Ooh. So this house guest feels female to me, whether it's a real house guest or a spirit house
Or
guest.
one on the other side.
Yeah. Huh. Ancestral, you think? Yeah. Feels ancestral.
Second time. This is very interesting, Tovi. Very interesting. And this deck is like every single freaking card wants to fly out.
Jump out.
I can't just get one. There we go. Well, again.
Very interesting. Girl, you got some magic going on up in there. I don't know who you got at your house, but
She says spiritual. Tovi says definitely spiritual.
Send them our way.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. The first card that I pulled, I was asking about the energy of around your guest, and I pulled Chiron, which is about healing, and then I also pulled messages. So just like Brenda said, I definitely feel that it's there for you. And then I also pulled the healing guide, which I got healing again, but out of the same deck. We have the same deck, but I pulled this out of my deck. She pulled this out of her deck. She pulled the chemist. Both of these are spirit guides. So I feel like...
and I really feel like it's ancestral. Like it's somebody in your lineage, whether it's a part of your soul that's already existed. Oh, that's really out there.
Yeah.
Or if it's somebody in your family lineage that's coming forth to help you.
Right, but I definitely feel like it is there to be a guiding force.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we both got healing and we both got a guide.
And then I also pulled the transformation card. And transformation card says, the past is behind you. Everything is changing. It's time to launch a new cycle. Again with the cycles.
Mm-hmm.
A new project. With care, miracles can abound. So I really feel like it is there for your highest and best good. It also talks about magic is afoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
You received this card when you were in the process of change.
well, and with the healing card coming out twice and messages, maybe even lean into it and ask, what are you here to help me with, and see what messages you get, and kind of a try as much as we can to be in a place to receive that healing.
Yeah. And I feel like I want to pull one of these from the Rose Oracle for you, because I think that's going to be a healing message of some sort. Let's see what this one says. Oh.
So definitely
Mother
lineage.
Rose, yeah. Mother Rose. Let's see what number this is, because I want to see what it says. 94. This is a card of returning to union by facing what's been broken, separated, and severed. To realize that we're all human, and while harm has been done, what's needed now is for us to acknowledge what's happened and endeavor to find a way to return to each other. This is also, this is about healing too, right? To realize that it's possible for two people to have a different experience at the same time, and that both can be true. Mother Rose longs for humanity, for us to drop our defenses and reach out to each other with deep honesty and compassion. To face and untangle the sadness, anger, and hurt from our hearts with the help of her grace. To dig our roots deep until we find common ground. Which relationships are difficult for you now? Who has hurt you? How can you soften and express your truth without being defensive? How can you open yourself up to the possibility that two truths can exist at the same time? I love that. Yeah. So all about healing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when you get to the point where you can accept someone else's truth, as well as your own, it
doesn't diminish yours.
It doesn't, right? That's kind of like the basis of radical forgiveness.
I love that. Yeah. That's beautiful.
It is.
All right, we have two more guests joining us. Ruthie says, "Do you have any upcoming healing messages for me?" And after Ruthie, Danielle has a question for us.
Okay.
So Ruthie, healing messages.
So whenever you read that question, Rosalie, I saw I had a visual of kind of looking back and seeing what's transpired, but there's a path in front of you, and it's like, I acknowledge this, but I'm not going in that direction. I'm moving in this direction.
So Ruthie's moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled release your blocks. So definitely in keeping with past is the past. I'm not carrying it anymore. I'm moving into being, and I also pulled speak your world into being. So both of these cards, it's like there's a past back here that's behind you. I'm leaving it there, and I'm moving forward into a new world. Right?
Yeah, and I pulled this higher self, like your life purpose is calling, that's future, not going back here and looking at what I need to review. And then I also pulled the open door. So that's also that forward looking, walking into the new opportunities, new ventures, new energy, new everything new, and leaving the past behind is what it feels like.
Well, and I was asking the Soul's Journey card, what is the energy about what you're moving forward toward, and I got acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. So again, very, very much in keeping with releasing the blocks, letting what was behind be behind, and moving forward with a new or renewed popped into my head, outlook.
Yeah. Let's see what the Wastelands talks about. It's the most powerful card in the deck. It's a wake-up call for us to stop the destructive behavior that's resulting in us becoming brittle and unable to live in a sustainable way. So to me, that would also be about the past. The sacred feminine is abundant. She knows that the earth can provide for what what we need, and that she doesn't need to take more than she needs. She tends the earth around her and within her. She is the keeper of balance and the protector of all living things. In this card, she's delivering an urgent message to slow down and stop any way of being that's not sustainable, to release anything that's making us brittle, to tend our own garden, our bodies, and the earth around us. So to me, that speaks to like not focusing on what's happened in the past, but move forward, tend to yourself, tend to your own body, your needs, your own growth.
Right.
Okay.
Beautiful messages. And Danielle had one?
And Danielle says, hello, I'd love to know the energy around my upcoming vacation. Should I splurge or keep it as is? Or cut back?
Oh. I feel like you're kind of in a balance between the splurging and keeping it as it is. So I feel like you could splurge on like one thing, but maybe not on the entire trip. Do you know what I mean? So maybe there's something that you really want to do during that trip that would be a splurge. I think that's okay to do, but not to go too crazy on like splurging on the whole trip.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
I was definitely picking up on like a joy guide energy. So and I was like you. It's like my mouth wanted to say splurge, but my body wouldn't let me.
Right.
So I mean, maybe like you said, look at all the possibilities and think about, okay, which one is going to bring me the most joy? You know, which one is going to light me up the most, and then make that the splurge. Because you'll get the most benefit from that.
Pull the change card. So maybe you don't have to decide right now. Maybe this can happen during the trip, that you find that thing, because the dragonfly is able to fly up, down, kind of hang in place. So you don't have to decide right now. Well, maybe it's something that comes up while you're on the trip.
Well, and I pulled keep your heart open. So kind of like be open to the pivot. Just kind of allow what comes in to come in. But I also pulled step up and lead. So it's kind of like, once that thing that is going to be the thing that's going to make you enjoy the vacation the most, bring you the most joy, then be ready to take it and go.
So the truth card says, be fearless in your journey. Follow your inner guidance. So that also kind of speaks to that card of like, be in the moment and keep your heart open and see what thing comes along that is going to like really spark. I think it's okay for you to splurge a little bit. Yeah, but not to go crazy.
Well, I pulled the energy around the vacation, and I pulled the envy card. But
envious.
But it made me feel like everybody's going to wish they did what I did.
Where are you going, girl? I'm curious because I always like to know where other people are going. Did she say where she's going?
And live vicariously through others.
She didn't say, but we got a good morning from Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
And a hello from Jay Lynn.
Oh, Jay
Hi,
Lynn.
Jay Lynn.
And I guess that's it.
So we're gonna pull one more card for. Let's pull a card for next week, because we won't be here next week.
Yeah, we won't be here next week. I got an appointment. Okay, apparently that one wants to come out.
Dawn says, if you have time, I'd like any insight into my kiddos, age 17 and 23. Dawn.
Okay.
So this is cards for next week. Don't stop. Keep going.
And sacral chakra, so very much about creation and doing the thing. You are worthy. Reassess what you value.
Yeah. Okay, so Dawn and the energy around
Her children, her kids, age 17 and 23.
Okay.
So let's do the 17-year-old first.
Okay.
Well,
I'm feeling male energy, so I don't know which child that is. Which mostly girl and child that is.
and I'm feeling kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
Like, no one card, like you saw, they just like spilled in my lap. Like I can't even shuffle the cards to have one. They keep like getting stuck on one another, and
Did Dawn say if her 17-year-old is male or not? I don't know if I'm in the right energy.
Don, if you could specify your 17-year-old, male, female. Male 23, female 17.
Female is 17. Okay, well, I'm connecting with the 23-year-old then, because I'm feeling the male energy.
so was
She identifies male.
Okay.
no, that makes sense.
Well, then I don't know which one I'm connecting with.
Okay.
The energy that I'm feeling feels very inward, and it feels almost, I don't know if depressed is the right word, but very, energy is vibrating low that makes me feel kind of like this. Like very heavy, feels heavy.
But I'm feeling like racing thoughts, which in turn make you slow on the outside because you got so much activity going on in your head. Your body can't keep up, and so you end up going into
Don says yes.
freeze mode.
Okay.
You're hitting the nail on the head.
Is this the oldest one then?
Don, is this regarding the older child or younger child?
I feel like it's a 17-year-old.
Do you?
And I also with the with the deck like not acting right, and all the cards like falling in on themselves. I pulled message in a bottle, but in reverse, and we love you and we just give it to you like we get it. Are you refusing to acknowledge the signs because you want things as you want them? Red flags are not pretty decorations for you to admire. They are warning you for a reason. If something doesn't sit right with you, don't ignore it. Don't ignore the signs. Spirit always has your best interests at heart and will draw your attention to what you are overlooking.
She says you're phenomenal. And Diana, are we still in your
Yeah.
reading sign?
I don't know.
Don says tell it like it is.
We tell it with love.
Get clarity and become focused before stepping forth. Take care to have thoughtful communication with others. I feel like there might be some depression, and they might need some help to kind of pull out of that.
Right. And I also got divine timing, and it says, let go of your timeline, which speaks back to wanting things the way you want them. And maybe not giving, credence to any signs that you may be seeing. So just, I don't know any other way to say this, but tune in a little bit more to the actuality of it, and just see what comes up.
Yeah, I pulled the You're Ready card, and then within the next few months. So I feel like this card says like you can see the picture, you can see kind of what's going on, but having the wisdom to know when to act. And I feel like this is kind of the timeline for it. Something within the next couple of months is going to come up that's going to give you the opportunity to maybe address what's going on. And in the meantime, gain knowledge. What knowledge do you need to know that could be helpful to help your child to move forward?
Yeah, and I'm still feeling that like racing thoughts like there's so much going on in my mind that I can't articulate it, and so therefore I don't do anything.
Right.
I don't go anywhere. I don't talk to people, which can, even if you're not depressed, can look like depression. So maybe the knowledge card was making me feel like maybe it's time to not talk about what they're doing or what they look like or act like or want to do, but start talking about the thoughts, and being able to get some of that out.
Yeah. Get out of the head. That helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we want to do the 23-year-old. And I know we got to go in just a...
We are, it's 20 till.
Yeah.
And Diane Rivera also had a question, but I told her we might not get to it today.
Oh, I know her. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey. Yeah, well, we can do... Well, let's do the 23-year-old, and then let's do the...
Can we do Diane as well?
Well, we had somebody before Diane, didn't we? Or,
No,
Danielle, didn't we?
yeah,
We did Danielle.
Oh, we did.
Danielle, yeah.
I don't even know where I am.
You've been in the mode.
Okay, 23-year-old. I don't feel like I'm connecting with the energy of them. So
Yeah.
sometimes we don't get information really whenever we don't have permission to go into their energy field. So I kind of feel like I'm being blocked to know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
The older one, okay.
I was just picking out specifically the one energy, and that was it. So
Yeah, and I was kind of asking what does Dawn need to know about the situation, like trying to connect more with Dawn rather than the 23-year-old. But I mean, I'll show you what I got. It makes no sense to me. Like I'm not getting
a message.
a message with it. So Chiron came out again, healing. And I also got Jupiter's return, which is benefits. So if those two together resonate with you, great. If they don't, that's fine too. But I also got guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist my soul growth. So I don't know if that's the healing that the person needs, or if there's
Do you feel any guilt about anything?
Yeah, some kind of guilt between you that needs to be released, and then what the benefits would be of that with your relationship. So those are the three cards that came out.
Take it as you will.
Take it as you will, and hopefully you'll get a gut feeling about what they mean as far as that relationship goes. So that's the best we can do.
Your
Sorry.
intuition.
Yeah.
Do you have time for Diane?
So,
Or
let's-
no?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Chapter.
We'll do Diane, and then
Then
we're
we'll
done.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
She just said, she says, my husband was diagnosed with a tumor on his
Oh, no.
arm. I'm very sad.
Aww.
I did send her healing vibes from us.
Oh, thanks. So, is she
It was
wanting
just
to?
a statement that she made, if you're there, Diane, if you have a specific question or just want to general.
The energy around that?
Energy
Yeah.
around it. And Dawn said thank you.
For Diana, I'm like, oh, pay attention to the details. Girl, stop.
By the book.
Yeah,
So
mind the details.
mind the details.
And I also pulled the angels card, which means that you have, angels and support and divine intervention around you. So call on your angels to help you, help guide you on next right steps. But I really feel like pay attention to small things, doing things, don't put it off.
Well, and I also pulled poised, but in reverse. And it talks about you're not ready to move forward at this time, and that has to be okay. But be poised to face, in the face of demands and deadlines. Pretending you know what you're doing works sometimes, but if you adopt a fake it till you make it attitude, it will land you in some trouble. This is not the time to wing it. So that's going back talking about like minding the details and being sure you know what you know when it's time to act. So if that makes me feel like kind of like take this time to do some research.
Since you don't have all of the facts right now.
Right. And learn some things, get the details in order, and then when the opportunity to act and take the next right action appears, you'll be ready to do it without hesitation.
Yeah. And then I pulled the improving health card. So that feels good and within the next couple of months. So both of those cards feel like a good eventual outcome. Just make sure that you do the things as you move along.
Right.
All right, we got to go, y'all.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks.
Next week.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Our latest episode dropped yesterday, so please go take a look at that, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.